Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are subscribers, if you're new to the channel, please take some time and check out the rest of the content. Either way, welcome to the channel. What I want to talk about today is some lessons that I've learned because I've experienced folks who are close to me passing away. So I guess lessons learned through death. Maybe I can call it that, something like that. But just some things that you become aware of, like you know them, but it really hits you in the face when people close to you, whether family, close friends or whatnot, when some folks pass away. So that's what I want to get into today. So do me a favor, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. As I said, check out the content. Don't forget to share the videos. Please leave your comments. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see me post. All right, so let me get into it. So I've lost several close people in my life in the last 11 years or so. This is going to be like the 12th year. So the last 11 years, lost close people. So in 2013, my grandmother passed away. She was somebody who helped raise me and all that sort of stuff. And she passed away in 2013. She had developed Alzheimer's a couple years earlier, and then it kind of eventually led to her passing away because she couldn't remember certain things, and she had stepped off a certain height, a certain incline, and then she fell and had surgery, and she was 80 years old. She didn't make it because of the surgery and all that sort of stuff. So either way. And then in 2020, my aunt passed away. She had cancer. So she developed cancer, and she caught it in the late stages. And, she didn't make it. So she ended up passing away in 2020. That was rough. Now, because she was only 59 years old, she was going to be 60 in December that year. So, man, I kind of felt like that was unfair. She was still young. And it's going to get to what I'm going to talk about in a second. And then just this past December 2024. Sorry, I got this cough. I got to take something. But December 2024, this one was, I think, the roughest of them all, because this was my nephew, and dude was only 21 years old. And so this is just a couple weeks ago, right? This is January 25. We're talking about December 23rd. He passed away. He was only 21 years old. So 2 days before Christmas, he passes away. The day after Christmas would have been his 22nd birthday. So as a family, we just went through a really rough time, having it been so close to Christmas, his birthday being after Christmas, the day after Christmas, and then New Year's, and so it's just a really rough time. And I think we're still going through a rough time. So I kind of gave you a little bit of that backstory and to what I'm going to discuss next. And so those are the lessons I've learned, man. And I used one of the words already, and one of the words I used was unfair. And so when people ask me about his death, so I said my aunt's death was unfair because she was 59. I think she was still young and vibrant, and cancer, as you know, is a killer. But man, for my nephew, 21 years old, and he was at work, he was doing his job, delivery, was robbed. He and his coworker were robbed. Both of them were shot. So his coworker, which is his friend, was initially the person who was shot. The bullet went through him and struck my nephew, and he died. His coworker survived. 21 years old. And so when people ask me about it, one of the things I feel like sometimes for me with death is that sometimes it seems unfair. Now, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in God's promise and all that sort of stuff. I'm a believer, but man, when you think, as in his case, you're doing the right, it wasn't a disease, it wasn't an accident, and you're doing the right thing, you're out there working, and from what has been described so far, they haven't caught the folks yet, but from what have been described so far, it seems like it's young folks involved, young people involved, relatively young people that might be involved in their 20s and all that sort of stuff. And I'm thinking, man, this guy is out there. He's doing his work. He's working hard for his money, and that's how you go out. And I think that's why I describe it as sometimes life could just, it seems like it could be unfair. You could be doing all the right things, and sometimes things don't work out. And I think that's why sometimes people might lose faith, or their faith might waver. It's because of instances like that. And we still have to believe in God's promise, right? We still got to believe that God knows best despite situations like that. So that's one thing sometimes I feel like people go through with debt, especially depending on how it occurs, is sometimes it feels like it's unfair how it goes down, right? The next thing is, man, I still haven't gotten over the pain of losing my grandmother. I still haven't gotten over the pain of my aunt passing away, and still it bothers me that she was only 59. I know. And then even though my grandmother was 80, she always seemed like she was the hero because she kind of kept everything together. Man, because we grew up so poor. I mean, not having anything, and somehow the lights stayed on, and somehow there was food on the table, and so it was almost like this personality, this person, this figure that just seemed to loom so large that regardless of how old she was, there is this thing that you feel like this person could live forever. But I know better, and we know better, right? So the other thing is, as I was saying, pain doesn't go away. It does not go away. What I realize is pain changes. It changes. It does not go away. And when I say changes, you go from, hardly being able to breathe. When each of these instances, my grandmother, my aunt, and now recently my nephew, you feel like you're gasping for air, for breath. You just like, your mind is racing. You don't know how to, and it's tough. It's really, really tough. But it doesn't go away, but it changes. And what it changes into, I realize, because of the debts that are the two debts that are not as recent as my nephew, is it changes into memories, to where you could begin to appreciate some of the memories. You laugh at some of the things that these folks did or said or whatnot. Some of the lessons, you realize you've been incorporating them for a long time, or you begin to incorporate some of those lessons into your life now. You realize how valuable some of the things that they said to you are. So the pain doesn't go away, but it changes, and hopefully it changes into not a place where you go into depression or more pain, but it changes into where you have valuable lessons, and you grab things that you're able to use to live a better life, and then you're able to have those memories, right? That's the second thing. So it's unfair, and then the pain doesn't go away, but it changes. And then the other thing is, you realize just how precious life is. It really hits you when you see these folks laying there in a coffin, a casket. It hits you. With my aunt's case, I didn't see that because since she had passed away during the pandemic, she was cremated, right? But with my grandmother, and then most recently here, my nephew, when you see him laying there, and I bought the suit for my nephew, and when you see him laying there, it's like, wow. It's rough. It's hard to believe that he's the one that's laying there. Like it's and he's young, 21, still so innocent, still so, it's tough. But you realize how life is precious. That's what you realize. You realize that life is precious, and you've got to embrace it. You got to absorb it. You got to cherish it. And we only have one life to live as far as we know. We don't know if we're going to be reincarnated and come back in the same family or as a different person or whatever. We don't know. So what we know now is this is what we have. And man, you got to live your life, you know? And I always say that to people who might be in situations where they're short-circuiting themselves. You're at a job, you don't love the job, or whatever the case is, do something. I know you probably can't quit right now, but do something to move your life forward. Do something to put you in a position to where you could enjoy and love doing what you're doing, right? And then people who might be in toxic relationships, come on, man, do something. I know it's not hard to walk away from those relationships a lot, but this is your life. This is the one you got. Don't spend all those days giving it to somebody else who doesn't deserve your time, doesn't deserve your attention, doesn't deserve your energy. Do something. Do something to get yourself out of the situations like that. So those are the 3 lessons I learned, man. Debt, sometimes it seems unfair. We hope and we know that God has a bigger plan for it, but it does seem a lot of times it's unfair because we're human beings. Pain never goes away, but it changes. And I think the thing is to work to make sure it doesn't change and change you in a negative way, but it changes in a positive way, and that you embrace the memories. And then you realize, the realization hits you that we each have only so much time on this earth, and you really got to enjoy it. You got to embrace it. Embrace it. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Just wanted to share that with you because it's stuff that I've been through. So, you know, hey, at the end of every video, I always ask 2 things. 1, do something good for someone, no matter how small it is. You don't have to be rich to give back or whatever the case is. A lot of times you could just give in your time and then do good by yourself. Do something good for you. Turn your life around. Make a change that you need to make, right? So, hey, don't forget, subscribe, check out the videos, hit the like button. Certainly does help the channel grow. And until next time, be good to yourself. Peace.